Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com. ZNation. ZNation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. ZNation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to ZNation. This is Zayna the Gaia.
Hello.
We are broadcasting from Hollywood, Florida. And we are on SoFloRadio.com.
Yes, we are. And SoFloTelevision.com.
SoFloTelevision.com.
If you want to nitpick about it, we're just on everything.
If you want a voyeur view, I like that because it is a radio show, but we do videotape it so you can watch us do the radio show.
That's why I got dressed today.
You usually go out naked.
I don't get away with it too often.
This is what I slept in. I wasn't expecting to be here today. I just put pants on.
I believe it. George came through this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, George.
Oh,
the show must go on.
Yes, thank you. And we have an awesome show today. This is part 2 of Jonathan, Super Jonathan host, coming on to ZNation to interview me. So if you tuned in the first time, this is part 2. If you haven't, go back and watch part 1. There's a lot of funny things that happen, and I'm sure we have a lot of funny things planned today because Jonathan's funny, and when you're around, I think I become funnier.
It's a funny thing, isn't it?
I don't know if it's funny if I make myself laugh. I mean, like, I know it's funny, but sometimes, I may make myself laugh, but you may not think it's funny, or the whole world may not. But in my inside joke, I think it's pretty funny.
I get a lot of your jokes.
You laugh at a lot of my jokes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
You encourage me. Thank you so much. Speaking of naked bodies, I saw something on Facebook, my news source, yesterday about these women that were protesting naked, and they were, I think it was in California, they were protesting and saving the trees. So there was these images of these beautiful naked women, all sizes, hugging trees as a protest so they don't, take the trees down.
Lucky trees.
Yeah, I think it's
That's how you protest.
That's how you
It'll
protest.
get my attention.
I enjoy those type of protests. We need more of that.
Yeah.
Let's start a movement here in South Florida.
Well, here it would be easy to go nude. It's so damn hot. It's so hot. So, well, I like to talk about what I did on the weekend. And this weekend, I did nothing. And that's what I had planned. I actually saw you, Jonathan. You were part of my nothing plans. But
It was a wonderful visit.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I was talking to someone yesterday, my dear friend Philip, who's actually going to have a show shortly on SoFlo Radio, a real estate show. He's called the Real Estate King. And he was telling me how he wants to take one weekend off a month and go on vacation, And I said to him, well, you don't have to go anywhere. You just can plan to do nothing for a weekend and just enjoy South Florida wherever you are. And, even if you drive 30 minutes north or 30 minutes south, you have like a multitude of things you can do without, packing up and flying somewhere. But it just depends on, what we're willing to create. Like, I love to plan nothing and have nothing to do. And that for me is vacation mode. It doesn't matter where I am. Vacation mode is like, I have no plans, and my plans is to have no plans, and I can just do whatever I feel in the moment.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
And you were telling us last on part 1 of my interesting interview that you actually put that on your calendar to do nothing.
Yeah.
Did you do that for Saturday?
Yeah, I did it for Saturday and Sunday.
Did I push your free time over into other things on your calendar?
You were part of my free time.
By begging you to stay?
No, it was, I love to have, just to schedule my life in a way that what I love to do is in my planner. So I plan for doing the things that I love, and I plan to be spontaneous and do nothing. So this weekend for me was my spontaneous weekend of, I think I'm going to do laundry now, and after that I'm going to go to the beach. everyday things in life that usually I don't have the time to do in the week, right? So, and then if you can't take a weekend off, I recommend take at least one day off. And if that's too much for some people, they work 7 days a week, start with half a day off. Half a day where you turn your phone off. Half a day or a full day where you don't have any commitments to anybody but to yourself, to just do what you feel you need to do. And sometimes that may mean you just lay around in bed, or maybe you're like chopping cucumbers and freezing them. I don't know, whatever.
Something relaxing that gives you just a time to unwind and enjoy just being in your skin.
Yeah, I call it like slowing down to get ahead. Slow down so we can get more things done, so that we can be more efficient in our life, so that we have time to just think for a second, or not think for a second.
Right.
I don't know if that's really happens, not thinking, right? But like there is like a space of like, I don't have to do anything, answer to anybody, or I haven't committed to anything. I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have any deadlines. And there's like this space of
appreciate nature, whether it's the beach or, we go to North Carolina. I know you've gone to ashrams and everything in the mountains, where you can just sit and actually listen to what you can hear when you're not hearing traffic or media or a TV show or something. Birds singing, bees buzzing, just the wind, all these subtle sounds, and just to appreciate the real world as opposed to, the artificial world that we're so conditioned with. And it all melts away. When we go up there, it's like by the second day, it's all gone. When you wake up on day 2, it's just nature. It's just like, and then everything else feels harsh and artificial.
And then when you come back to your crazy schedule, you have more peace of mind. You're hopefully rejuvenated.
You're rejuvenated,
refreshed.
Absolutely.
I love it that you mentioned nature, George. I've been doing my coaching sessions out at TY Park here in Hollywood. It's a beautiful park. And the first thing I do when people arrive is I just lay down with them on the ground. And there's this amazing view of like looking up, and then there's all these trees.
Sure.
And if you just lay down and look up, first you'll notice like, what you're talking about, George, is like the subtle sounds.
Sure.
The little space between the branches and the leaves, and then the sun that shines through. And there's this eclectic like play of light that happens.
Sure.
And then the longer you stay there, the more you discover like a whole world of life in there.
Absolutely.
In the trees, the lizards and the birds and the little squirrels running around and jumping from branch to branch. And then like you said, and it's like you get tuned into real life.
That's the real world, and we used to be a part of that world, and we've modified the world for our comfort and convenience, but it's our world is so far removed from that.
It reminds me of that picture in the hallway of the Hollywood Boulevard before it was in the 20s or whatever that was.
Yeah.
And I just got to thinking as I was waiting outside, I was like looking at that picture, and just to try to imagine what those days were like, Hollywood Boulevard with all those old cars and no pavement.
It was a dirt road, right?
Wow.
To the beach.
Different times for sure.
Yeah. Nature definitely connects us to the present moment. It's a great way to enter a space of meditation, really a space of the present moment. And that's what I did. So, and especially here in South Florida, we have the beach. We have so many parks and springs and places where you can just stop and tune in so that you can tune out. Because I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I know I have. When I leave South Florida and I go somewhere and then I come back here, there is a very distinct buzz, like a chaotic buzz around South Florida.
Sure.
And when you're in it, it's like the water that we swim in. It's the air that we breathe, so we don't feel it. But when we leave and we come back, I generally have to like take a day or two when I come back to South Florida to just ease myself into that vibration. Unless I'm coming from somewhere like New York, which is also a little bit chaotic in its way. But if you go to like any small town, or when I go visit my family in Montreal, or when I go to little towns and come back to South Florida, there is a distinct energy. So it's important for us to notice it and to manage it, because there's so much chaotic energy down here, but there's also so much nature that we can balance it out with and really discover our true nature in nature.
I agree. I'm glad you're talking about that today, because that's kind of in the middle of my agenda.
Okay, good.
No, it's cool because I don't want to use the word cool every 2 minutes like last time. I need new adjectives today.
I'll start a cool count.
Do you want a timer? You could just you could ding him every time he says cool.
I'll push a buzzer whenever
like
you say the word
thing.
cool. Okay?
Why don't you hook him up to the electrocution thing? Because that way it'll really like train you.
Indy's already got that covered.
Okay.
I'm used to it. I don't even feel it anymore.
Indy's in the studio. Hi, Indy. Hi. Indira.
I can do this, right, George?
Hi, everyone.
Yes, you can. But
Hola a todos en South Florida.
Gracias de nada.
That's all you get for now.
Thank you for being here, Indira.
You're welcome.
Yes. All right. So, well, I've got a little bit more to talk about.
I'm sorry.
But you could jump in anytime because it's your show.
It's your show.
You've taken over.
It's you and George.
So, authentic is the new sexy. I know you want to talk about that one. I know. Now you can cross that one off. So, yesterday I was playing around online because I'm rebranding and redesigning my site, and I thought it would be cool to add like some cartoon characters of me. So I started researching online how, website that allow you to create your own cartoon characters. And I found the South Park one. So
I saw that.
If you want to check it out, it's on Instagram under ZNationRadio. So I created my South Park character. I liked her a lot. And then I had a little, a speaking bubble that said, authentic is the new sexy, y'all. Because I say that. And what does that mean? I want to just share a little bit about how I came up with that. So is the new sexy. Well, authentic to me means, being willing to say the truth and not pretend about things that we usually pretend about. And it could be like a man saying to a woman, babe, I'm scared. Babe, I'm pretending to be really tough and be there, but really I'm afraid and I don't know what to do. Now that's hot for me. It's sexy to feel the rawness of another human being and the honesty and the truth rather than the BS of like, I got this all together, man. I got this. And underneath that is a bunch of BS of like, I'm afraid. I'm not sure what to do. I need your support. And that's what authentic is to me. Like the realer and rawer I can get, the more you can get to know the real me. And whenever we come to each other with that realness, there's something so attractive about that. There's something so magnetic about somebody who's willing to be naked with their soul with anybody and everybody, like not picking and choosing who you're going to be authentic with. Because if I'm real with this person hurt me in the past, so I'm not going to be real with them. I'm going to play the tough act with this person, but with these other people, I feel safe, so I'm going to be real. So there's something inauthentic about that, like not being willing to be real all across the board. Here's the thing. It really does require courage and practice. It's scary to be authentic. It's scary to come out of the pretending world into the real world and actually share with people what's really going on with you versus, it may be what you've been taught, like culturally. I was brought up like, don't speak about anything that goes on in the house, outside the house. Don't speak about your issues. Don't talk about your problems to other people. I ran into that a lot in Beirut when I was in Lebanon. It's very much part of the culture to pretend like everything is all right.
It's very stoic.
When you're like, you're not all right. And I came with a lot of authenticity, and for a lot of people in Lebanon, it was like, wow, she's like really out there. She's really coming.
How was that received?
At it. I was in the yoga community and it was very well received. There was a lot of authenticity already in place there. In the culture, I got like, I would go around like taking cab drives, with the taxis, and like I was very upfront with them. And I could see in their faces, first of all, a woman being so expressed, verbal, and just the truth of like I had no filter in what I would say. So it was received. I think people appreciate it. Some people were afraid of it, but overall, I think humans appreciate truth and honesty.
Oh, I just thought of a question about that. So when you do take those risks, I talked about this a little bit last time with you. Do you ever like have any regrets? Like I always question myself, and it's I shouldn't have said that, or I wish I would have said that, or maybe I was just too filter because I've been kind of crazy since I was a little boy chick. So do you ever, you've practiced so much, it seems so natural for you, and you always bounce back. You can talk about people farting in class and then just make it okay.
There's a difference.
Even the person that farted in the class, he doesn't feel so bad about it. 'Cause you make it sound like, we're human. I know people that don't fart. So.
You do?
Yeah. Never have once.
So there's a difference between just saying anything that's on your mind and just splattering everything out versus intentionally speaking your truth. Because, like, for example, on Facebook, I will post things that for some people are like, I can't believe you shared all that. There is a moment when I click submit or send where I'm like, here it goes.
And you just let it fly.
And I let it fly. Now, my intention when I post things on Facebook, I always ask myself, why am I posting this? Is it so I can look good? Is it so people can admire me more? Or is it so that I can contribute to other human beings and make a difference with my words?
Nice.
So, it could be a balance of both too. Because I think being authentic, sometimes people think that it may make you look bad because you're admitting things about yourself that you think are ugly or, less than. But that's the paradox, is when you are truthful about these things, it makes you look so sexy.
I like it.
It makes you look good. It makes you look real, and it makes you relatable, and people appreciate that. We want to feel close to one another. And when we don't, oftentimes we can't put to words what's going on or why we don't feel connected with a person, but there's just those walls that we put up. And what's worse is when people are so open and friendly and like all that, and they're pretending on top of it. And then you're like, something's really off. This person seems so open, but there's
manic a little
there's
bit.
something about them that's closed off, And it happens a lot. I used to be this way, where I was very popular. People knew of Zayna, but nobody knew me. You know what I mean? And then I had that shift where somebody actually said that to me. They're like, nobody really knows you. You seem to be very open, but there's a closedness about you, this like tight bound walls you have around you that nobody can really get to. And then I started sharing, and it was mainly from my book, Thank You for HPV, that got me out of the discomfort. It was incredibly uncomfortable to put that book out into the world and share my story with the world. But when you ask, do I ever regret it? I never do. What happens after I share is always so fulfilling and satisfying. And even if there are quote unquote haters that may say things, it doesn't faze me because I know what I'm doing and I know the difference it makes.
If you affect just one person, then it's coming from a place, again, of service and really trying to add something, help someone else.
Yeah.
So it's not like self-serving.
Well, if it is self-serving, you won't have the courage to put yourself out there. If you're being authentic or like putting things out there just so that you can look good, it's not. It won't be fulfilling in that way, because when you put it out for others, like as a service to humanity, how can I make a difference with other people? Then you really are helping others, and then the feedback that you get, it's like being at a concert. Like you're the star on the stage, and
Zayna,
exactly,
Zayna.
and and then the audience is what cheers you on. So when people say thank you for your words or thank you for your book, it really saved my life, it just gives me so much fuel that I'm not afraid to put myself out there again. In fact, I am looking forward to what is the next thing I have to say. And you know how you know that my life is really like just everything is really smooth? I don't put a lot of posts up. It's when like I have challenges and I'm like stopped by things in life that I post the most inspiring things on my social media, because that's when I really have stuff to share. Otherwise, I'm like, oh, life is good. I'm so grateful to have woken up this morning. Wah, 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 wah. Which I think is great. But sometimes when we just put out all the great things that are going on in our life, it gives people the wrong impression of our life. And then people start to compare themselves to me like, oh, she has such a perfect life. Nobody does.
It reminds me of the concept of like the evil eye, Ein Hara, That's in a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
People start to get jealous because you're boasting my relationship, my car, whatever. And, once in a while it's okay, but, again, what's the intention? What's the reason?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I have something really funny to say, and edit it, and then I'll just delete it. But sometimes I'll leave it up.
Yeah, when you
good
have
to
that
take those
feeling,
risks.
yeah, just push send.
What you did with your book, though, was incredibly brave, and I think it's... I got to find another adjective. It's cougat.
Instead of cool,
Cougat.
you can say it's... You can say it's splendid.
Do you know what cougat means? It's from a Woody Allen movie, Sleeper.
No.
Cougat.
It's a funny movie.
Apparently, Woody Allen and Woody Harrelson are two different people, huh?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
both got wood in the name.
Yes. One's a little nebbish and one's a tall weed advocate. Yeah.
I like the nebbish of Woody.
Sure.
Props to Woody Allen.
All right, we went on the Woody Allen
I'm
tangent.
sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, that's it's perfect. Where
I like
we're going.
what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
I'd like to interview you sometime.
That's why I'm interviewing you.
We got a new jam. We got a new joint for you today.
So that's all I got today. I mean, I could keep talking, but
That's the idea.
You ought to.
All right.
I'm gonna let you take the reins, Mr. Jonathan.
I don't know what's going to happen
lead
today.
the way. I know. I heard you don't have any questions planned. I like that.
It's a
just-
show about nothing.
Yes, just being present to what's there and not going too much in our heads and just
Yeah, let's just be present.
yeah.
Let's share our authenticity with our 5 million viewers now.
5.6.
Up to 5.6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What's up, homies in Oklahoma? Okay.
Do you know what it says on the license plate for Oklahoma?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
don't remember.
It says Oklahoma is okay.
That was
No, that's
creative.
very ambitious there. We're not great. We're okay. We're fine.
But it's
Welcome to Oklahoma. We're fine.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
We're okay.
I thought that was so funny. I saw that. I like to always, when people tell me where they're from, what states, I'll be like, what's on the license plate? Because it tells you a lot about the culture.
Do you know the Show
Yeah.
Me state? Show Me.
Which
People
one is
from
that?
Missouri.
Missouri. Why is it called Show Me
I mean,
State?
they don't believe anything
They don't
you tell
believe
them.
any. Yeah.
No way.
Crazy. I can't talk to
Yeah.
those
That's
people.
BS.
Show me.
Yeah.
Show me.
They don't believe anything. That's all right.
Just kidding.
Worst on the license plate. Worst one ever is Idaho. It just says famous potatoes. Like oh, everybody in Idaho is a potato farmer.
That's
you know,
what I
in the
think
northern
of.
panhandle, there's like lumberjacks and miners and everything. It's like what potatoes have nothing to do with us. Famous potatoes, like ooh, you know.
The world needs more
Florida,
potatoes.
nice. The Sunshine State. Florida's nice. The Sunshine State, isn't that very nice?
I like it.
Montana, where I used to live, Big Sky Country.
I like
N-
that,
Nice
too.
things. Like
Minnesota.
that, you know. Idaho, famous potatoes. Oh,
They get the
misspelled
potatoes.
yeah.
But you guys get the Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
The abbreviation is okay.
Oklahoma's okay.
Just making sure we got the
But it says
authenticity
that.
of
Does it really say that? on there?
Yes, I
Okay.
didn't make that up.
They're not.
I try to make as little up as I can.
Yeah, they're not clever.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Gaia,
you could do better.
Yes.
Was there a committee meeting for that? A lot of people, a lot of discussion.
let's just go with okay.
A focus group.
My show's about nothing. It's worse than nothing. I want a show that's called TMI. We talked about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did
Too
you
much
hear about
information.
No, what a great idea.
It's a
I
no
know.
filter show.
Tell me more.
Well, the TMI show would be about like random thoughts that people think about but never say.
this? Like
Unless
farting.
you're
and-
Z.
Oh my God, I
Like
love
animals.
that, Jonathan.
Well, what are animals thinking about? When my cat's watching me, what is she really thinking?
While you're having sex?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
Just in general.
Okay, we
In
had
general,
that conversation
not
before.
going
That's why.
What do
We said
animals
we're not
think
going
about?
into controversial
If you
topics.
shave before a date, is it bad luck?
I've never shaved.
Ever?
This is all natural.
No, I'm not talking about your face.
Are you talking?
You know, because you want to be if something happens, you want to be all tight. You know, you want to be all groomed. But then, like I always feel like I'm jinxing myself if I like I'm expecting something to happen.
I think you
know?
can have a buzzer that goes TMI.
I like the buzzer. It reminds me of my little league basketball. Basketball's not little league, but that's the same sound from the gym.
Yes, it is. The time's up. Right.
5. Oh, can I count down and then you do it?
It applies to anything.
Rosenthal for 3. 5, 4, 3, 2. Swish.
Yeah, we have crowd sound effects too, but don't make me get up.
All right.
All right.
Let's hear a little
Talk.
bit from our sponsors, and then we're gonna come back.
We're gonna hear from our sponsor. You take us to
I
commercial.
think you should.
I like doing that part.
I know.
And now we like to show some appreciation and hear from our sponsors on SoFlowRadio.com.
Tune in to get tuned in. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Hi, this is Zayna de Gaia, and I'd love to share with you about my good friend Nicole of Legit Fitness in-home training and yoga. She's a certified yoga teacher, and she's an amazing and experienced trainer that can design a program to fit your specific needs and goals. She's so cool. She's super committed to making fitness and health fun and accessible for everyone. Plus, your first week is free as a new client. Here's how you set up your first session. Either call 305-335-5590 or visit www.getlegitfit.com. GETLEGITFIT, getlegitfit.com. 305-335-5590. Do it now!
Oh my, is this for real? A yoga camp for teens? Join us this summer at I Love Yoga. Tweens ages 7 to 12, August 3rd through the 5th. Teens ages 13 through 17, August 10th through the 12th. Drop your teenagers off at I Love Yoga Studio at 9 a.m. Pick them up at 3 p.m. If you're interested, please register your teen at iloveyogastudio.com. Namaste.
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise. I teach grown-ups too.
Join Julie for beginner and gentle adult classes.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Now, back to Z Nation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFloRadio.com.
Chaturanga-la, a chaturanga-la-la-la-la-la-la. I tried the vinyasa, chaturanga-la-la-la-la-la-la. Standing across the room, I saw a big pile. Rubber yoga mats to buy or use for a little while. But before I kicked off my shoes, my mind was running wild. Time to unwind. It's hot.
They're hot. You sing into the microphone.
And you should too.
Z, come on and make us sweat.
Sweat till we can't sweat no more. And if we cry, go on and push us some more.
Z, come on and make us sweat.
Sweat till we can't sweat no more.
And if we cry,
Go on and push us.
Push us some more.
A chaturanga-la, a chaturanga-la-la-la-la-la. Chaturanga.
I try to vinyasa.
Chaturanga-la-la. And we faded out. Yo, that's my latest joint I put together for the Z Nation show.
Jonathan, you're so talented.
You are.
That was a really good song.
Thank you.
Come on and make us sweat like we can't sweat no more. This song always like perplexed me. But now putting these lyrics to it, it all makes sense. Thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you.
I look
for
forward to more Jonathan
letting me.
songs. Yeah. All right.
So let's keep interviewing you.
Okay.
So we finished last time talking about your initiatives, your projects, the things you're doing, and you only mentioned two of them. And you have all these workshops and things, and you create flyers in your sleep, and you say, I did nothing. But while you're doing nothing, you're coming up with workshops and classes and marketing things. Go ahead and talk about it.
All right.
Can we talk?
All right. Is there anything particular you want to hear about, Jonathan?
Like the women's workshops, the teacher training.
Teacher training. I know you wanted to hear about that. All right.
Anything.
Well, let's talk. I'll talk a little bit about the teacher training. That's one of my favorite topics. So the teacher training is something I started doing about a year and a half ago. And I really, really am in love with it. What we do is we do a program. I'm actually developing it now to go from a 12-week program to be a 9-month program. So we're going to stretch it out a little bit longer. And people do get certified to teach yoga. So you come out competent and confident in your ability to teach. However, the training also focuses on people getting themselves out of the way, which is something I didn't get. Like when I first was taught how to teach yoga, I was taught how to instruct yoga. However, my voice in my head was so loud that when I would teach, I was not present. I could barely look you in the eye. I just couldn't be with my students. So I think that happens a lot to people who go through teacher training. You learn the stuff you need to learn, but the actual quality of being somebody who holds space for people to heal. Like yoga can be very deep. So to hold that kind of space requires you to do a lot of work around your own stuff. And
it requires authenticity.
It really does.
It's a big word today.
It requires, authenticity as a yoga teacher could look like coming to the front of your class and saying, this is my first class and I'm a little nervous and I'm really happy you guys are here. Instead of coming into the class and saying, namaste, welcome to yoga class.
Get in child's pose now.
Get in child's pose.
Relax, settle in, okay.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I taught like that for the first couple of years that I taught yoga. And, it made a difference in people's lives. But there's just another level that we can be teaching at and that we can be holding space for others at. So the teacher trainings can be pretty intense for people. We go deep, and the depth is going deep into you. And really peeling the layers off. We talk about that in yoga class, peeling the layers off of who you're not to discover your true light. And then, we don't teach people like a specific yoga lineage or a specific yoga style. We give them like a basic sequence that they can teach, but really we encourage people to discover what their own voice is, what their self-expression is.
I noticed that when the people graduate, they all have their own thing, like their own special brand.
Their own, yeah.
And you kind of help people figure that out.
We do. We work with people on that. And one of the things that we developed is this teacher training. The graduation ends with a
festival.
Big festival, yes. And the festival is organized. It's put together. It's taught. Like all the teachers teach at it. So imagine yourself going through a yoga teacher training with a community that you really bond with. And then you put together this community event, this festival. And then what's really cool is they get to put like their names and their bios and their pictures on an official festival flyer. So they're like launching themselves out into the world.
Debut.
Listen, there are some, light worker talent agencies being formed right now. But at the moment, if you want to put yourself out there as a light worker, as a yoga teacher, more chances of you being out there is that you are your own agent. You're the one that's putting yourself out there. So that's what they do. They put on their own yoga festival. They promote it. They promote themselves. So, and then they also get training in like how to get themselves out there, because it's great to know how to teach yoga, but now what? How are you going to make the biggest difference? You don't have to just teach at yoga studios. That's like one place out of a gazillion places that we can be bringing yoga to. So just learning how to be an entrepreneur with your own skills and knowing that what you have is needed in the world. Not only is it needed, but it's valuable. So learning how to value ourselves, how to put ourselves out in the world, and how to do it with authenticity and a big heart.
That's one of the greatest qualities that I think attracts me to following, your activities and I'd like to be involved with you and learn from you. The entrepreneurship, it's like people associate making money or business as non-spiritual or a dirty thing sometimes, and it doesn't have to be. Like you said, you have to value yourself, and if you have a valuable service or product, it should be appreciated by oneself first, and then
yes.
Why shouldn't people pay? I mean, if we pay for all the junk and garbage and alcohol and whatever else people spend their money on, I have my vices, but every dollar you spend on something that's good for humanity, good for your soul.
It is.
It's wonderful.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there is a school of thought that spirituality should not be sold, right? Everybody should have access to spirituality. That's why it's important to offer classes on a donation base.
And I Love Yoga started as a donation.
We did, yeah. And even me, I'm looking at like, where do I offer karma-based or community-based projects? However, we don't have to offer everything for free. You have skills, just like a doctor, just like a teacher, just like anybody that you're offering as a service. So you can offer your services and charge good money for them, and you can also offer donation-based classes for the community too.
Right. And people want to pay for things because our soul wants to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, when we had the donation-based yoga studio, we were super inspired because when we traveled, Moses and I, we had a bus and we traveled for a year visiting yoga studios, and the vibration and the energy in the donation-based studios was just so inspiring. There was something about that vibe where people can pay what they want. And then when we did it at our studio, it just didn't work.
South Florida.
It's I think what was missing and what we're still putting in is education. Because there's a new paradigm in how we do business. The whole system of the money system, the currency system, all that is shifting. So what we've created is, an opportunity for people to see and do business in a new way, to create new possibilities, how we can exchange with each other, how we can do business with one another. It doesn't only have to be money. It doesn't only have to be a certain way. And also to give people the opportunity, if they don't have the money to take a yoga class, to create another agreement. So it wasn't that the classes were free or you can come to class and leave $2, because I don't think that's fair for the teacher. So that's why we discontinued the donation, because it wasn't working for me, it was for the teachers. And the value that they bring, it wasn't being returned. So we set like a low base rate, and we've kept it at that now, and people really appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
And when you say donation, I think it also confuses the heck out of people, because it's really not a donation if you're suggesting an amount. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's something else. It's some kind of other word. We haven't even created that word. But the word donation, I think, was like handed down to us from an archaic monetary system that we no longer are living in. Like, we're moving out of that. So whatever word we're using, it could be like some people say like a gift offering or whatever it is. We just got to figure that out within our community. But I've just chosen to just give it a base rate. And if people don't have the money, the conversation is there to be had, where they can work in exchange for it or whatever. But money doesn't get in the way of people getting these teachings.
Right. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So besides the teacher training, did you want to talk about any other workshops or anything? Or?
Sure. Well, one that I'm putting together right now is, I have a meditation course starting again.
You had a lot of people for the first one.
You know what happened with the first one? I learned a lot. We started with 30 people. We ended with about, I want to say 10.
I'm a dropout, early dropout.
A lot of people dropped out. And what I discovered is, people got discouraged. And so this one, I'm doing it a little bit differently, because meditation is so multidimensional. When you say meditation, 10 different people will give you 10 different ideas of what a meditation is for them, 10 different techniques that they've learned. There's so much out there. And so this meditation course, I'm calling it a medley. So it's an opportunity to experience different types of meditations. And it's a little bit more engaging than just having people sit and listen to their breath, which to me is like, it's the ultimate meditation. Just observe. There's no technique. There's no chants. There's no counting. There's no visualization. Just be with the moment right now. But I've discovered that we need to wean people into that. So that's what I'm doing with this course. It's going to be set up a little bit differently. So it's targeted specifically for people who say they can't meditate, don't want to meditate, don't like to meditate. Got a few hands being raised here, but that's what that's about. And I'm really passionate about giving people the opportunity to experience that for themselves, so they can have it be part of their lives.
It is, I think, more intangible than the asanas? Asanas. The yoga, because it's like you said, it's such a broad topic.
Yeah.
Meditation.
Yes.
So when you're falling asleep, that doesn't count when you're tired at the end of the day, and I'm meditating.
Oh my God, I used to say that all the time. When my tongue's out, I'm sleeping. When it's not, I'm meditating. But listen, it's part of it, right? As we learn to meditate, as your practice evolves, you're going to fall asleep. So what?
Now, I wanted to talk about something. I want to fit it in before I forget it. It might be a little bit of a segue. I'm really into this idea of corporate yoga, and I know you came to my job, and I'm supposed to plug my company. Am I allowed?
Please.
I work for Unit Dose Services. We sell pharmaceuticals and do repackaging. And one of the things that I really want to get into is like dealing with more private labels, like even you or Moses, and bringing natural products, doing the packaging, and bringing something to market that's useful and healthy. So we're in Dania Beach, and even though we're not live, well, I'm not supposed to say, right?
Yes, we are.
We are.
We are.
I feel very alive.
Streaming live.
But corporate yoga, that's where I was going with this.
Yes.
I know that like I feel so relaxed and everything, and then something will happen and people start to get catty and and the stress in the room just goes like wildfire, and everyone's like dropping F-bombs and walking away, and just a lot of, lashing out at each other, and all this tension and stress, and people are afraid to speak up.
And there's gossip.
And every corporation or every company.
Yeah.
It's better in my company, but like my last job and other places, I know it's such a, because, when you talk about corporate yoga, you've got all different people from all different walks of life, different age groups. So I'm really interested in doing something, I don't know what or how, but corporate yoga seems to be something that interests me. And a lot of people might be concerned about liability, or I'm interested to know how can you present that, or what ideas do you have?
I'm actually working on that right now. I've formed a company called Worldwide Wellness Works.
Oh, where's your CD? Is it here?
Which one?
I think this is the flyer from Yolanda. Is that the same thing?
Yes, we're working together with Yolanda.
And Hannah.
And Hannah, yes, the three of us are forming a company, and corporate yoga is just one of the branches of what we're creating. What we've recognized is there is a need to there's a need for the middle person to connect all the teachers and the amazing talent that's available to the people in corporations that need this kind of, I'm going to say, this kind of benefits, brought to their employees. So what we do is we go into corporations and we speak their language. What you just said, what you just addressed is, the issue that's happening in corporations now is that, people are stressed out. And when they're stressed out, they bring their stress from home to home. So not only is it affecting their work life, but it's affecting their home life. So what we call it is, this is the big thing now, is their wellness programs. So yoga is one thing that is offered in the wellness programs, because not everybody's going to gravitate towards yoga. Some companies may want to, get their employees up to par with nutrition. Stress relief is also a key word. Stress management, time management, and energy management are all things that people, are looking for.
That's the language you need to speak to.
Yeah, and you talk to the bottom line, because their bottom line will increase by bringing wellness programs that include yoga and meditation into their work.
Slowing down to speed up and get more done.
Exactly. And that, like the gossip and everything that you hear, like that stuff will be reduced, because the culture of yoga is that we are united.
It'll inject that new language.
Exactly.
It's not even new, but
while they're in child's pose, you inject it.
Yeah, but I just wish that people would like.
That's scary.
Yeah, that sounds.
So much for me being comfortable in child's pose anymore.
No, it was a verbal injection. Come on.
Oh, okay.
You inject seeds of wisdom,
Injecting consciousness.
Injecting seeds.
ZNation.
God, don't quote me on that.
I just want more bosses to agree to this, because I know it'll help. I just believe it in my heart. Like, the typical reaction of a boss of a corporation or a company would be like, I need more I need my people doing more. I need them busy. I don't want to risk it. It's going to be distracting. But it's the opposite thinking. I really wish that people would just give it a shot at least one time, see how it goes.
I do too, and it's like anything. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. And yoga for me is so valuable, and the people who are aware of its value and want it will come to it. And it's the same thing with the corporate yoga. Like the businesses that are aware, right now, they're going to ask for it. And the ones that are not will wake up eventually and they'll see and, they'll want it. But I don't feel like we have to run after people for yoga.
That's true. It goes with any kind of spirituality.
Yeah.
You can't no coercion, they say in spirituality.
Yeah, I mean, when people are ready for it, they will come to it. I think in the workplace, if an employer is proactive to bring that into his workplace, her workplace, it really shows a lot for as far as your commitment towards the space and your employees. Your commitment to their well-being and their lives working, because yoga is very holistic, so it will show up across the board in their lives. It'll make a difference.
It might create a space to talk about things that in a proactive way that people are bothering them.
Mm-hmm.
Therapeutic. Just anything.
Well, just that, people communicating takes so much resentment and just negativity out of the space.
But when you have meetings about one thing, it can be about something simple. You find that people want to just open up whole other things, and then some people that have been holding in a lot of frustration. I'm thinking of one fellow employee that is not with us anymore, and you see all these things coming out, and they want an opportunity to express those things, to relieve that stress and deal with the frustration.
Yeah.
We don't have to go through life miserable to go to work. I wish I was like George and I was my own boss.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I'm going to the beach. No, you're not. Okay, I will. But everybody needs that little bit of love, that peace of mind, instead of, how many months and years can people go to the same job and just be frustrated, not live,
Well, people will do it their whole lives and, go to the grave.
Sad.
It is sad.
And they don't even go to your class after work. Dummies.
My biggest competition is the happy hour. Yeah.
People think they're going to relieve their stress and feel better by drinking?
Well, yeah. People either will, at the end of the day, they'll go to happy hour or they may go to a yoga class. And it's a choice. People really deal with that choice, and it's okay.
I can do both.
You're going to come to my class after happy hour?
Before or after.
No, go
I've
after.
done both, whatever.
I used to be a happy hour guy.
That makes me extra happy. Extra happy half hour.
No, go after. I don't think it's good to have alcohol in your system when you do yoga.
Oh, I want to talk about that next.
Yes.
Let's talk about yoga etiquette and the preparations that we make before we come to class.
Okay.
For example, a lot of people think I'm just going to go to yoga, then I'm going to shower after. But you're supposed to shower before and after.
You are.
And I don't eat anything after 5 o'clock because
the
way you make us twist and turn, put your left toe in your right ear.
Yeah.
Well, I think you hit it right there. It's what happened to me when I started practicing yoga, like you said, you naturally start to you don't want to eat an hour before, you eat less after. My whole eating regimen and my lifestyle changed because I would know that I'm going to yoga that evening. So what I ate throughout the day, I didn't eat anything heavy because if
comes out of your pores later.
Yeah, and you feel it, and it comes. It feels like you're gonna puke. So, so there is a preparation, but that preparation is the practice. It's the awareness, and it just like how they say yoga begins when you complete your practice. It's off the mat. Like everything that you do to get to your mat is part of your practice. So drink a lot of water.
Lots of water.
Now
I notice you don't drink much during the class. Well, sometimes you don't. You just direct more. Sometimes you really do all the poses with us.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to get this out, if I can segue again. I noticed, I was giving you all the great qualities you have last time. Your decisiveness and your confidence and your sense of control. I want to know, what was your evolution to be such a great instructor? And every class is a different experience. And how do you decide? I have all these questions about how you run your class.
Well, I've been teaching for 10 years, so it's been evolving. And I think, when I traveled and I was visiting a lot of yoga studios and I went to a lot of festivals and yoga conferences. So I've taken a lot of classes with a lot of top teachers. And I've learned a lot around being around them.
You just take mental notes.
Well, it's just, it's like my classes it's a medley of everything that I've learned up to now. So that's why it's always a little bit different because it depends Like when I walk into class, I ask myself, okay, what do I have to share today? And I just look at my day and I say, what lesson did I learn today that I can share with my students? And sometimes I'm like at a total blank. I just don't know. And I'm just like, okay, I'll allow it to come through when it does. And that's something, I want to acknowledge and thank Moses Love for, because when I started teaching with him and observing how he taught, that's when I had the shift of being an instructor to being a teacher. So I've always been a good instructor. I can tell you what angle to have your foot at and how to press your hip out, all that instructional stuff. But what I wasn't doing was I wasn't sharing myself. And that's when things shifted for me. And sometimes, I would be in class and Moses would be there with me and he would whisper to me, be like, share something about yourself. And I'd look at him and be like,
He can break down those walls pretty
stop
quickly.
telling me what to do. I don't have any, you know how that is. Don't force me to say something. And, and I would stand there and I would close my eyes. I'd have them in child's pose. I'm like, God, just give me something to say, something, anything, and then I realized I didn't have to have big quotes or anything like extraordinary to say. I just had to share from my heart. And so whatever I'm dealing with, I always share, and I may not go into details about my life, but I'm very, the word is authentic in my classes about who I am, what I'm dealing with. And I always know, whatever I'm dealing with, whatever I'm going through, I know if I share it, it'll make a difference to other people, because we all go through the same stuff and we can relate to each other when we're open like that. And I don't prepare for my classes.
Do you adapt the things you do, depending on who's in the room, or do you just expect
Sometimes
people
I
to
do.
adapt to?
I mean, I give modifications, but I will feel out the room, and just feel what's in there. Like if there's a lot of beginners, I may do a different class. If there's everybody's in there are my regulars, we may have a different sequence. But overall, I don't vary that much, because I think people can find their variations, and that's what I encourage is do your best and find in each pose a variation where you can breathe comfortably.
The breathing's the main thing. And I noticed you're always there's always something a little different. Every class is going to be unique. I think that's
Good.
neato. It's not cool, it's neato.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Oh.
A little late, sorry.
Neato. What else do we want to talk about?
You're asking me?
Okay. Oh, I have another one. Yeah, George, what else do I want to talk about?
I'll tell you.
I didn't come prepared either. I'm just being in the moment. Crime. Now, how about that crime? Liability. I started to say that. Now, maybe this is just old thinking, but I can't help but to... I'm always worried. Maybe because I have a Jewish mother. I am a Jewish mother. Do you ever, are you concerned that somebody's hip could pop out or something? Like one time, I won't mention any names, but a fella who I know, friend of the family's, he had a hip thing going on, and I was like, you weren't, you kept going. Hey. And are you ever concerned about that? Have you had any experiences like that you are able to talk about?
Oh, well, there's such a thing, first of all, as yoga insurance, right? Every yoga teacher should have it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just covers you wherever you teach, that you have insurance, and that's why there's the waivers that say blah, 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 you're responsible for your own body. But besides all that, that's the legal mumbo jumbo, right? No, I haven't. I don't do crazy stuff in my classes. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, if people want to do crazy stuff, then they can, do it on their own, go to the beach and play. But when you're teaching a group class and there's 10 or more people and they have different levels, to start to do crazy postures that could, hurt people. And they could hurt people because people like to compete and compare themselves with others. And, as a teacher, you want to be really present to that.
So you're aware, and you pretty much you're confident that people are going to be safe if they just have their wrists the right way and take the precautions.
Listen, people may get hurt. I mean, but that's their lesson. I hurt myself the other day. I hurt my wrist. Yeah. And it was just, it's discomfort right now, but, it happens in physical activity. But I think it's important to keep the yoga classes yoga and just simple. The postures are simple. The practice is simple. The depth of it is the depth that we're willing to go in, not how complicated or hard a posture is.
As long as you keep that breathing,
that's right.
Do your best. No judgment, Gaia says. Right?
Yes.
I'm like a parrot.
You do good, though.
It's like whatever I'm into, I'm a 200%. I want to be good at it. There's a competitive nature. Hi. There's a competitive nature, even though it's not a competition. Something still in all of us, or maybe some more than others, feel like I want to do it like she's doing it or he's doing it.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I practice, like Sunset and I practiced on Monday or whatever it was, and I felt it, but it wasn't so much a competition. I felt like we were supporting each other. It may have been competition at some point in my yoga life, and I felt like this time it was like her presence there just supported my practice instead of me doing it alone. So it's always nice to have somebody there or a group there.
It is nice. I think we're coming towards the end of the show.
This is it.
Do we have time for one more question?
Sure.
What am I going to ask you? Oh, what's cool as far as conscious music? Are you going to give me the buzzer again?
No, it's too late. I moved
I'll
on.
buzz myself. I just got buzzed.
What's cool as far as conscious music? Oh my God, there's this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard of him. He takes these really hip, cool songs. I said the word cool. And he turns them into conscious song. His name is Jonathan Rosenthal. He's so awesome.
He's been around forever.
I can't believe the stuff he's doing. I can't wait for him to come out with other songs. He's sometimes a little bit like a Jewish mother, but a lot of the times he's pretty gangster and comes out with really great beats. So
I want people to like me.
I want more of that, more conscious music.
Do you know what my real main goal in life is? I want to be Prince.
Awesome.
Can you see the resemblance?
Yes,
I do.
Yes.
Footprints.
You are kind of like Prince.
I want to be Prince so bad.
So, Jonathan, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
I don't know if I got a lot of good questions.
We got to do a part 3.
No. Don't tempt me.
Till you have your own show, TMI. Indira, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You are the space for greatness. And, let's take us into our meditation for the day. So if you're somewhere where you can sit up, please do. If you're somewhere where you can close your eyes, relax. You are the one you've been waiting for. You're the one the world's been waiting for. You've come into this human body to experience this physical realm through the senses, and ultimately to master this vibration of love. We came here together on this planet to support, love, and be with each other. Feel your heart right now, how brilliant, how bright it is. You are fully supported. You are loved. You are love. Take a deep breath in. Feel life filling you. Feel light filling you. Breathe in and feel love filling you. Please lift your heart 60 degrees to the sky. Feel that openness. Feel your connection with the sun. Feel your connection with the earth. And feel your heart centered between the two, connected to the universe. Never was there a time that you and I did not exist. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and be free. May all my actions, my words, my thoughts contribute to that happiness and freedom for all beings everywhere. Please know this, you are thebomb.com. You are appreciated. You are loved. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you and we love you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Peace.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.